host of the Global Business Report on Arise News, and we have to observe safety protocols. And I shout out the NGX for doing this every single time, because you all know about those unfortunate fires that we had last week. So this has become very important. So let's just watch this 45-second video, then we'll get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nigerian Exchange Group Event Center. At Nigerian Exchange Group, your comfort and safety is our priority. As part of our health and safety policy, please listen to the following announcements. For your convenience, the restrooms are located to your right, just outside the door of this event hall. In the unlikely event of an emergency, 2 exits have been provided for your use. A stairway that you can access from the lift lobby just before you enter the event center. Another emergency exit is located right behind the stage's backdrop. The door can be opened by pushing the handle. Please do not use the elevators during an emergency. Rather, locate the nearest exit from where you are sitting in a calm and orderly fashion. Emergency responders will also be available to provide additional instructions as required. Please switch off your cell phones or activate the silent function so we don't interrupt the proceedings here today. Once again, welcome, and do enjoy your stay at Nigerian Exchange Group.
All right. So you're welcome once again to the Facts Behind the Figures from Champions Breweries Plc. We're doing this again. I don't know if you remember, we did this October the 15th of 2024. Does anyone remember what Champions Breweries was trading at around that time? Any guesses? Not sure? No? It's 3 naira 42 kobo. Champions closed on Friday at 15 naira 25. So that's what? 345% gain since then. And the company has been making moves, right? They made a move to acquire the Bullet ready-to-drink energy and alcoholic drink with a presence across 14 countries, which means they've got a distribution advantage in terms of logistics, and also foreign exchange is going to be coming in. So you're going to be seeing all that in what promises to be a very informative and interactive Facts Behind the Figures today. And speaking of returns, I have to shout out the NGX. NGX is up 37% year to date, right? So it's a good time to be in the market. So speaking of the NGX and the good folks at Champions Breweries, I'm going to be recognizing the members of the executive team to my right. So you have to start off with the CEO of the NGX, Mr. Jude Chiamaka. All right. Also the CEO of the NGX Regulation, Mr. Olufemi Shobanjo. The head of the primary markets, Mr. Tony Izeriako. And my favorite guy, should I be saying he's my favorite guy? The doyen of the market, Mr. Samit, yes, sir. He's awesome. Let's get to the executives at Champions Breweries. Mr. Imobasi Jacob, Board Chair, Champions Breweries PLC. You're welcome, sir. Dr. Inaligu Adoga, Managing Director at Champions Breweries. Very much looking forward to his presentation. Mr. Eric Ijahi, Non-Executive Director. And I was happy to have him on my show, Mr. David Butler, Non-Executive Director. You're all welcome. We have a few more recognitions at Champions Breweries PLC. Mr. Rashid Adebi, Finance Director. Mr. Thompson Walker, Non-Executive Director. You're welcome. Mr. Samson Alagbadu, Non-Executive Director. You're welcome. Thank you for that correction. And Agbedo, that's correct, yes. Mrs. Mary Akobome, Non-Executive Director. Alhaji Shuaibu Otan, who is the Independent Non-Executive Director, is right here. You're welcome, sir. And then Chief Tosan Abuni, Company Secretary and Partner at Victoria Chambers. Yeah, he's a fan favorite. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick things off. We're going to get a welcome address from the CEO of the NGX, Then we're going to get into the numbers. We're going to get your questions as well. So let's give a warm round of applause to Mr. Jude Chemaka, Chief Executive Officer at the Nigerian Exchange Limited.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I know we do have other participants who joined online as well. So, on behalf of the board and management of Nigerian Exchange Limited, let me warmly welcome you to this exchange, and it's indeed my pleasure to welcome you to this Facts Behind the Figures presentation by Champion Breweries Plc. This provides a vital platform for the company to manage investors, analysts, and other key stakeholders, offering deeper insights into its strategic direction, its efforts to broaden its investor base, and its focus on enhancing production capabilities, optimizing the supply chain, and strengthening long-term competitiveness in the dynamic industry that they operate in. At the NGX, we're delighted to celebrate Champion Breweries PLC, a company with profound legacy and continues to create value in our market. Founded in 1974, that's a long time, in Cross River State as Southeast Breweries Limited, the company has evolved over the years, adopting the name Champion Breweries PLC in 1992 and became publicly listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange on September 1st, 1993. I think they deserve a huge round of applause. Champion Breweries has remained consistent in its presence on our main board and a leader in the Nigerian beverage industry. Today, they have a market capitalization of over 145 billion naira. It's important to just emphasize that the sector where they operate is very critical to investors like yourself that are here, because between 2021 and 2024, that whole sector have been able to pay dividends to investors in the tune of over 826 billion naira. And between 2021 and 2024, Champion Breweries itself been able to also pay taxes to the federal government in the tune of over 2.4 billion naira. So they are really contributing to the development of the economy. At NGX, we're a multi-asset exchange, and so we trade in equities, fixed income, ETLs, that's exchange-traded products, as well as derivatives. And we have been able to help companies such as Champion Breweries and a whole lot of other companies across different asset classes to raise over 4.6 trillion naira in the first half of the year, and will continue to always provide an enabling environment and a platform. Our retail investor participation in the market has been growing, and I don't have to give you figures about the market because we're really in a bullish trend. But one thing that is different from this bullish trend, from previous trends that you may have seen, is our renewed effort to use technology to drive retail investor participation. So we have a lot more retail investor participation in our market now, and we have a very robust risk management framework in such that the NGX regulation are always looking at the market from a surveillance perspective and ensuring that there's corporate governance and there's adherence to the right protocols to avoid a repeat of what happened in the market. So we can assure investors that coming to the NGX or coming into the universe of capital market will continue to ensure that our wealth will continue to grow as opposed to what we saw previously. So ESG is a vital component of our strategy, and we remain committed to helping institutions such as Champion Breweries and other companies that list on our exchange to take advantage of all the various elements. We're working with IFC just to expand the issuance of labeled bonds in Nigeria. We think that the initiative will not only support the real sector, but also accelerate the achievement of countries' broader sustainable finance objective. In addition, I think this is really the key point. We do have X Academy, which is really a helpful aspect of our business, and it's usually involved in helping investors, especially retail investors and corporates, to better understand what is going on in the market via financial literacy, market development initiative, and together with our strategic partners, we believe that the efforts will show the unique benefits of investing in listed companies and strengthen overall market confidence. I therefore use the opportunity to invite Champion Breweries and other stakeholders to take advantage of the essence of listing on the exchange. We are a world-class institution. We're driving Africa capital market development, and we're really keyed in to the $1 trillion economy aspiration of the federal government. And so when you get listed on our platform, because of the many partnerships we have, companies that are listed on our platform have enhanced corporate visibility, not just locally but internationally. But more importantly, they're able to find liquidity for their shares, especially for their investors who trade these shares. We thank our guests who are here today. We look forward to a very exciting time. As you can see, all the board and management of Champion Breweries are here, so we'll get to hear from them as to why they are coming back, haven't come back, haven't been here last year. So it just shows you the strength of the market and the strength of this particular event, which is Fast Behind Figures. And we think that it will be a lot useful if you can also be very interactive in your during the interactive sessions. Don't hold back. Ask all the questions you need to ask, because we are really sure that you'll be able to find all the answers you need. That said, let me thank you again for coming, and also to my colleagues who have made this event seamless, even from your experience coming into the exchange and the ambience that you're witnessing today, and those who are able to join us online for the dedicated work that they do, especially guys in the corporate communication. We thank everyone, and we look forward to an exciting session. Thank you.
All right, keep the applause going for our CEO there. Thank Mr. Jude Chiamaka. Thank you so much. All right, as the CEO said, we're going to be, we've got the Champions Breweries executives here, and we're going to be hearing from them in terms of facts behind the figures. Let's get some special remarks from Mr. Imoba C. Jacob, who, of course, is the board chair at Champions Breweries Plc. A round of applause for him as he approaches.
Thank you. So great to be here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the board of directors of our company, Champion Breweries Plc, let me warmly welcome all of us to this event. Today's event is about facts behind the figures, presentation. We truly value your presence. Those who are here physically and those who have joined us virtually. It goes to confirm one thing, that you trust in us, and the market has developed some confidence in us, as has been pointed out by the leadership of the NGX. We've come a long way. Mickey Mouse, and now we're here to tell a story. This forum gives us an opportunity to share not just our financial results, but the story behind them. Our story is very compelling, and it is a signposting to what can happen when there is a will and a passion. The first half of 2025 has been exceptional. We delivered record revenue and profitability, demonstrating the strength of our brands, the discipline of our strategy, and the resilience of the people. We are also entering an exciting new phase in our journey. With the acquisition of the Bullet brand, Champion Breweries is transforming from a regional brewer into a pan-African growth company. This particular step If you want to clap, please clap very well. Our portfolio is being diversified. It strengthens our footprint, not only in Nigeria, but across all the countries that this acquisition has introduced Champion Breweries into. It would also strengthen our earnings, particularly being able to drive the foreign exchange earnings into our economy. Our economy is in dire need of Forex, and Champion Brewery is leading the way. As a Nigerian company that is earning beyond the borders. And this also has positioned us for long-term value creation across multiple markets. Importantly, our progress is guided by strong governance. We're a governance-oriented company. We really take governance for its meaning. And it has helped us to turn the curve from where we were and where we are and where we're going. Sustainability and innovation are very important for us. We remain committed to responsible growth, investing in renewable energy, supporting our communities, and protecting the environment while creating value for all our stakeholders. I thank the Nigerian Exchange for hosting us today, and I thank you, our investors, analysts, and partners, for your unwavering support. Together, we're building a stronger and more global Champion Breweries. It is now my pleasure to invite our Managing Director, Dr. Inalegu Adoga, and his team to take you through the details of our performance and outlook. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the protocol has been properly laid. I wouldn't go into another round of laying protocols, but I really want to welcome and appreciate every one of you for being present in this second edition of our Facts Behind the Figure. We are in an exciting time, and I'm sure you're already buzzing with nuggets of why we are excited as a company. Can we put up the presentation? Thank you. Okay. So, I'll just go straight into the presentation, and I'd really like for you to pay very close attention. This presentation will essentially be anchored by myself, my finance director, as well as the chief executive officer of our group company, Enjoy Corp, David Butler. And we'll be looking at this presentation in four basic areas, which will dwell essentially into our history and also give you some bit of insights into the matrix that has come to define the industry where we play, and of course, very insightful and exciting insights into our financials as well. And then we'll also be looking at what our results hold for the future. Thank you very much. Please, can we stabilize the presentation? Okay, while they are trying to get that sorted out, I'll just go straight. Champion Breweries aims to bring joy and enrichment to people's lives. I mean, that is what underlies our purpose as an organization. And on the basis of that, we have envisioned a very bold vision. And that vision involves our desire to become a Pan-African beverage business, and also to become the undisputed market leader in beer and malt in the south region of Nigeria. You will recall that we have added a dimension to our vision, which was not there last year when we were on the floor of the Nigerian exchange to make our facts behind the figure. And why is that? It is so because of the bold move that we made in the latest acquisition of bullets, and we'll be giving you details on that as we go forward. Of course, our mission is very clear. We want to enrich life's moments with a diverse portfolio of brands that cater to every taste and occasion. And of course, the latest acquisition of bullets is a testament to our commitment to realizing this mission. And our values are very strongly entrenched in quality, in excellence, and also innovation. Not also forgetting the fact that we have strong commitment to responsibility and also to sustainability. Responsibility to compliance with integrity and sustainability to protect the ecosystem, which has afforded us the platform to perform as we are doing and have been doing for the past 50 years since we came into existence. So, Champion has become one of the most loved brands across the South-South region of Nigeria. And we have been told by Jude that we were incorporated 50 years ago, and we came into the stock exchange after we were listed as a private as a publicly limited company in 1992, and then we came into the floor of the into the exchange in 1993. And we are known for holding high standards of quality. Our financial highlights for 2024 is very clear. I don't want to go into that detail because it's out there, but I would like to focus a lot of attention on how we have performed in the first half of this year. In terms of our revenue has been up significantly by approximately 16 billion, which represents 67% growth year on year. Our gross profits moved up to 8 billion, which represents a 111% increase over the previous year. Our profits after tax increased by almost 700%, 692% to be precise, over the same period last year in comparison. And you will also see that our EBITDA has moved up by about 213%. And our profit margin, we ended last year with a profit margin of about 42%. Currently, we are at 50%, which represents 9% increase, compared to the same period last year. That is the financial highlights of Champion's performance. But of course, my CFO is going to give us a bit more details into some of the numbers, that you need to see. Our ambition is still very strong, and that is to be the undisputed leader in the South-South. And we are very well entrenched in achieving that, especially with the bold moves that we have made, which you can see. Our experience spanned over 50 years, and we are currently operating in about 9 states. Actually, if you add Benue and also Delta states, it takes it up to 11 states that we're operating, and we'll continue to expand. Our journey is very well known from 1974 when we were incorporated, and Champion Breweries as a company has passed through a whole lot in terms of transitioning from one ownership to another. But what is really important for us to note is that this company has demonstrated resilience in staying afloat. And there are 4 key points I would like to emphasize that has changed the outlook of Champion Breweries since 2024, when Enjoy Corp made that very significant decision to invest and buy Champion's equity, Heineken's equity in Champion. Since that happened, a number of very important milestones are really necessary for us to emphasize. The first was the fact that our historical debt with Nigerian Breweries was essentially taken out. And for the first time in the history of this company, we were able to pay bonus shares to our shareholders. And not only that, the following year, we paid dividends to our shareholders as well. And this has never happened in the history of Champion Breweries. And I think that's really, really important. And of course, we are currently also have made a bold move by the acquisition of the stake in Bullets, and we'll give you more details in that. It's something we're really quite excited about. So just to give you a sense of how we have journeyed as a company with resilience and with a strong passion to transform our fortunes. We have grown to become one of the most loved brands across the South-South, and it's no wonder because we have made commitments to increase our portfolio of offerings, brand offerings to our consumers by diversifying. We started off with just 2 brands. As at 2022, we launched additional 3 brands to give our esteemed consumers more options. And now we are also giving them more options with the latest acquisition. Of course, we have a strong commitment towards sustainability, and we'll give you a bit of insights into our sustainability program in the course of the presentation. So, let me mention a bit about our recent acquisition. We announced and signed the agreement to acquire the Bullet brand, which will expand our presence into 14 African countries and strengthen our earnings capacity in foreign exchange. I think it's a good place to clap if you ask me. And we'll provide a bit more insights into this as we go along. But it's really important I emphasize the fact that we plan to expand our market reach within Africa with our existing brands as well and our new products, and expand our presence outside of Africa with our existing portfolio in the coming years. Bullets afford us more opportunities, particularly in the ready-to-drink segment, which is a segment that has tremendous potential for growth, as you will see as I proceed in my presentation. Next slide, please. Okay, so the addition of Bullets delivers very high margin, multi-category platforms, right, with international growth exposure and earnings in foreign exchange. And I want to emphasize that we have made significant progress in concluding this deal. We have made and signed agreements, but regulatory approvals are still ongoing with agencies like the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council. And I would like to mention that the strategic rationale behind the acquisition of Bullets anchors on 4 very important points. Portfolio diversification. It provides and affords us a strategic platform for growth. And the reason why is because it's going to position us as a multi-category organization, beverage company, and strengthen our brand equity from local champion to a multinational, international growth platform. And of course, establishes a base for future product innovation and portfolio expansion. In terms of portfolio diversification, I need not mention that already is something I've emphasized. And in terms of our geographical expansion and FX earnings, it is going to boost our ability because we have the potential to grow in 4 high-growth African markets with established Bullet distribution. In fact, we're already getting offers from co-packers who want to cash in on this opportunity to help us grow. And of course, it will also provide us synergies that will help, it'll give us exposure, particularly in the RTD segment, which is a segment that is growing very rapidly. In fact, it is estimated that the compound annual growth rate of ready-to-drink segment is expected to grow as much as 14% between now and 2030. And so that gives us opportunity to really grow our profitability as a company, as we also synergize in our supply chain, distribution, and marketing, activities. I would like to also, at this point, emphasize the fact that Champion Breweries is backed by our sponsor. And our sponsor is made up of very solid industry experts. The group CEO of Evercorp Industries, which is the holding company for our group, Eric Idiahe, is someone who has very strong, almost 20 years experience in private equity investments and management. And you could attest to that on the basis of very successful investments that he has made across different companies. The Eleva Group, FDC, UTL, Tangerine, and the likes. And also supporting us is David Butler, who has over 35 years experience in retail management, particularly in the quick service restaurant business. And he has very strong experience in Yum, in Nando's, and also food concepts, and was instrumental, very instrumental in the very aggressive growth that we saw in Chicken Republic. So this is just to emphasize the fact that we are backed by individuals who are not only experienced and have very strong business acumen, but also are passionate about what we do in Champion Breweries Plc. Our board of directors is composed of individuals that have distinguished themselves in their careers before settling into both non-executive, independent, and roles as board members. And we have also taken steps to further strengthen the capacity of the board to provide the much needed guidance and governance of this company. And that is why we are really proud that our company is in safe hands. The individuals you see there on the screen represent over 250 years of experience, cutting across different segments: financial, international, multinational, and local. Our management team is also not left out in terms of its capacity and the functional competencies that each of these individuals bring to the management and the steering of this company into the future that we see as very bright, and we are ready to embrace with the very bold steps that we are taking, which I know will excite our shareholders. So let's talk about the industry overview. We are playing in an industry which operates in Africa's largest market for alcoholic beverages. I mean, just looking at look at our demographics, for example. We have a very huge population, which, based on the World Bank population growth rate, is somewhere around 3% year on year. And then if you look at the category where we play, the average consumption of beer in Nigeria stands at about 12.28 liters per individual per day. This is about double the amount, the African average, and also double the average in big markets like South Africa. When you look at our consumption per capita, we are also the highest in Africa, 13.4 liters. And then you also observe that in terms of expenditure on food and beverage, Nigeria has the highest, 59%, compared to other countries in the African space. So this gives us a whole positive outlook in terms of the context that supports the growth of our company in the segment that we play. And with the acquisition of Bullet, we'll have exposure to the dynamic energy segment of this FMCG sector. And you would see from the slides there that the African energy market is expected to grow double digits. Currently, it is fixed at almost $4 billion as at this year, 2025. And as at 2030, it's projected to grow to almost $6 billion. Now, let's talk a bit about this energy drink sector. Nigerians use energy drinks in their daily lives. 71% of energy drink consumers are below 30 years of age. And of course, that is a significant portion of our population. 43% of our consumers use energy drinks while studying to keep them awake because of the caffeine component there. And then 35% of consumers use energy drinks casually. Almost 20% of our consumers use energy drinks when playing sports. Currently, we have about 9 brands in the energy sector, and Bullet is among the leading brand in this particular market, from Liquid Boost to Red Bull to Climax. Champion Breweries has sustained very healthy revenue growth and gross margins, which has positioned it very strongly among its peers. Now, if you look at this particular graph that showcases our gross profit margin, you will observe that the only company that surpassed us is Guinness at 57%. We are at 50%. International Breweries at 36%, and then Nigerian Breweries at 42%. And if you do a bit of an X-ray into this, you will discover that in terms of brand for brand, the only brand that we actually compete with Guinness is Malt Guinness. They don't play in beer, as we do. They only play in stout, and we don't play in stout as at yet. So Champion Breweries continues to demonstrate operational efficiency and market adaptability, positioning the company for long-term value growth. And with very disciplined cost management and very strategic focus, we are well placed to capture opportunities in our dynamic Nigerian market. Our growth in revenue and profit margin ensures a sustainable return for our stakeholders, just to mention. And in the last 1 year, the overall brewing sector delivered very strong share growth. However, Champion is clearly the clear outlier. And this is underpinned by our very robust financial performance, as you could see. Jude mentioned very, earlier on. Rotis was asking if we all knew what was the share price of Champion as at late last year, and how much it has grown by over 500%, underlying the fact that this is the company to focus your investment on. So, I will, at this point in time, call on my Chief Financial Officer, Rashid Adebiyi, to come and give you a bit of more details into the financial highlights of our performance. Then I will come back again to wrap up before we go into the Q&A session. That will give you opportunity to ask your questions. Thank you for now, because I'll be coming back again.
Can we have it put up again? Good afternoon, everyone. So to start with, I will sum up our company financials story to be that of a company that is resilient, reliable, consistent, and a future-proof of our business growth and sustainability. If you can go to the financial highlights, please. Next slide. And this is rightly so. Yeah, this is rightly so when you look at how we have grown in terms of revenue with compound annual growth rate of about 30% in the last 5 years. And looking at our H1 revenue of 16 billion, which is already 75% of the full year revenue 2024. This is not This is a fantastic result, and it's a place to clap for Champion Brewery. We have remained consistent in terms of our gross profits and maintained a gross profit of about 50% year on year in the last 5 years. And this is so because of the efficient cost management in terms of our production efficiencies and our cost-saving agenda that we drive to realize this feat. Our EBITDA have been also growing year on year at a very two-digit rate at about 20 to 30% year on year. And that is also a positive story to tell about the company financials performance. Profit after tax growth, like my MD rightly mentioned, we grew in 2024, and of course, year on year, 2025, up to 2.3 billion profits. And that will continue to happen for Champion Brewery. The H1, as we said, is we grew revenue from 9.5 billion in 2024 half year to 16 billion in H1 2025. And that is 67% growth year on year, with a gross profit growth as well of more than 100% from 3.7 billion to about 8 billion in 2025 half year. Our EBITDA also follows suit similarly with a growth of about 213% from H1 2024 of 1.6 to 5 billion. Then profit after tax from a loss of 0.3 billion in 2024 to a profit of 2.3 in 2025. This has been our story for the half year and for the last 5 years in terms of our performance. And when you look at our financial performance in terms of our balance sheet have also consistent to be growing. We have maintained a steady growth in our assets by growth to 25 billion in half year from 21 billion in 2024. And it grew higher than our liability, which moved from 9.3 to 12 billion in 2025. Our shareholder fund has been also on steady growth from 12 billion to about 13.8 billion half year 2025, underscore our financial performance for the half year of 2025. Our free cash flow has been very unsteady in the last 3 years, on average of 5 billion. With prudent, we generate a lot of cash from our operations. That is, and also we are prudent in our capital expenditure. And that has been giving us this opportunity to be able to maintain a healthy cash flow year on year. For the bullet, we discussed, MD discussed a lot about the promising future of the acquisition of Bullet. And if you look at our estimate of our growth for 2025, we are supposed to grow 5 times in terms of our profit after tax in 2025. And this is rightly so because of the historical performance of the Bullet that we're aware of. And that is our estimate, and we will see that to happen. Similarly, in terms of a profit after tax, we are going to grow 10 times of 2024 with the acquisition of Bullet. So Bullet is really going to be a game changer for Champion Brewery in the years to come, and we want the market to see this happening. I will call on Dr. Aduga to continue the presentations, and where we take questions later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rashid, for giving us the financial highlights. So we will be going into the sustainability segment of this presentation, because one of our key priorities as a company is sustainability, which aligns very perfectly with the emphasis also from the NGX, and then what our strategic priorities will be. Now, I want to just add also that Bullet is present in 14 African countries, right? Including Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Ivory Coast, DR, Congo, Tanzania, and others. So which really opens up a whole new frontier for us for growth and for and to drive our operational efficiency as a company. Now, our sustainability priorities are clearly defined into the theme, brewing a sustainable world. And we have 6 pillars under this theme. The first being that we promote security, we promote safety, we promote security, we promote health. We also take deliberate actions to conserve our natural resources, of which water is the predominant, in terms of raw material inputs into our production. And of course, we also take very seriously efforts to decarbonize our operations in order to mitigate the impact of climate, the impact on the climate. And of course, we also are very deliberate about promoting responsible consumption, what we call responsible enjoyment. We want everyone to enjoy our products, but we also want everyone to do so, in a responsible manner. And then we also are focused on sourcing, not just locally, in order to ensure that we are stimulating our local economy, but we also source sustainably because we are looking at preserving this ecosystem, not just for ourselves, but also for future generations. And of course, very importantly, we do not operate in isolation. We operate in a context where a context of communities. And these communities, we also need to give back to them in terms of our corporate social responsibility initiatives. And that's why these particular 6 pillars define our sustainability agenda. And to be very specific, what actions have we taken in terms of putting action to our intention? We are going to go into renewable energy, and that will replace very significantly our reliance on fossil fuel, which will not only decarbonize our operation by significantly reducing our emissions, but also help us save, costs, as you all know it. Our ambition for 2025 is very clearly captured, as you can see. Our focus is basically on growth, on efficiency, and profitability. And on growth, our focus is on market share. And there are specific areas that we are giving attention to. We're going to increase our market visibility. We're going to build our brand equity. We're going to put weight behind consumer connection, especially hyperlocal consumer connection. And of course, in terms of driving operational efficiency, we have a mindset, and that mindset is the zero defect and the zero loss culture, which takes us away from the idea of rework, and also from the idea that whatever we are putting down must be efficiently utilized. And that is, and that not only focuses, on material inputs, but also on our financial spend as well. And of course, we'll also focus on increasing our profitability. We will drive profitability through a responsive pricing strategy. Before NJCOP took over, our pricing strategy was more of a reactive, but we have moved from a reactive pricing strategy to a responsive pricing strategy to even a proactive pricing strategy as part of our key strategic priorities. And of course, radically transform our cost structure. You don't spend on what will not deliver any significant return on investment. And that puts us in a very prudent mindset, And of course, we'll prioritize our action on renewable energy because it affords us the opportunity to also save costs significantly. So this encapsulates, in summary, what our strategy priorities will be, going forward. Growth, drive efficiency, and also increase profitability. So let's now focus on why we're here. At the end of the day, our ambition is to raise capital from the market. And our capital raising initiative falls in two categories. We're going to raise equity. We're also going to raise, we're also going to focus on debt financing. Now, in terms of the equity, it has two parts. The first part being, rights issue to existing shareholders so that they have the opportunity to participate in our growth. And and also offer the public opportunity to also invest in Champion. That's for new shareholders. And both combined, 42 plus 16 billion, puts it at 58 billion as what we intend to raise from the market. Then in terms of the debt financing, we are looking at it through the instrument of a bond. In terms of the size of the bond, it's 45 billion, but the issuance for the first series will focus on 30 billion. And you may be wondering, what is the rationale for the use of these proceeds? The rationale is very clear. We want to fund the strategic acquisition of Bullet, and we are also going to plow it into our working capital needs. That is for what we'll be raising from the capital market. And of course, the debt financing that we will be focusing on will be plowed into capital expenditure expansion. Basically, we have quite a whole lot we are going to be doing in investing in new packaging lines. And we are also going to be investing significantly in returnable packaging material, which is one of the foundations for driving, our market growth and deepen our penetration in areas that we already operate. And also, we'll be investing, in technology. As you know, we are moving away from the Heineken platform where we have been for many years, and which means we have to build our own digital and technology backbone on which we operate independently and autonomously. And so part of this will be used to drive this technology investments, which will, of course, also translate into increased operational efficiency as a company as a whole. So the acquisition is, sorry, I really can't see very clearly from here. Just give me a minute. So the company is pursuing the acquisition of a target beverage assets in a holding company. And of course, we want to scale and inorganically grow Champion Breweries' offerings, footprints, and earnings. And so the acquisition has been announced subject to customary regulatory approvals. And like I mentioned earlier, we are looking at closing this by by November. So on that note, I would like to thank every one of you for listening, and we will leave the floor open right now for our Q&A session. Thank you for listening.
Let's keep the applause going for the Managing Director there for his presentation. Questions are going to be in sets of 3, directed at the MD, and then he can to redirect those questions to the executives that are seated here. So, a show of hands. All right, I have a question there. Another question, because I ask questions for a living. So, okay, second question there, gentleman in the blue. All right, there's first 3 there. All right, go ahead. So, your name, sir, and who you're representing. We all know you, though, but go ahead.
Well, my name is Okezia Boniface. I'm the National Chairman of Progressive Shareholders Association Nigeria. Champion is not new to us, neither in the market. And I want to commend the board, the management, for coming back again to showcase what they have done in the last 1 year in the Champion Brewery. I don't want to go to memory lane. History of Champion, I know little about more than any other shareholder in Nigeria because I follow the company. Even when no other shareholder attend the AGM, I think I've been there in Calabar with you, travel and make noise. Even when they wanted to delist the company, I forced them to stand still. And I want to commend the Akwa Ibom State government too for believing with me at that time. With that 11%, I think for protecting the assets of the company, they have done very well. Investments company. You know. Today, the history has been right. I want to also commend Enjoy Corps for coming in, indigenous company, to taking over. And that's what we're seeing today. In the less than 1 year they came in, I think they have made a major acquisitions. But I want to ask, Bullet Energy Drink. I think that got to do with the Holland, if I'm right. That's where it's been produced. Eric, am I true? Belgium, okay. How do we going to producing it here in Nigeria? Are we still going to brewing over there and exporting here in Nigeria? I want to know. If the plant now is going to be set up in Nigeria, since we are holding 100% acquisition by Champion Brewery. So are we going to produce in Belgium or here in Nigeria? Since we're looking at foreign exchange, because that's going to be a booster. Because I don't want a situation where we have a company like other your competitors. They will tell us foreign X have been taken deep and thereby no dividend for local investors. That can never happen. We will fight it. So you need to tell us in a nutshell, that plant, is it going to be replicated here in Nigeria? Since we have about 14 African markets toward, and when is it going to be available in the Nigerian market? Is acquisition. Because since we are already signed agreement, we're supposed to be seeing it in Nigeria because that was boosted the market. Not even the Champion, product. That was when market had that acquisition. You will know that it's going to be a major game changer for Champion Brewery. And I want to also know, because apart from the Champion Lager and the Champion Ginger, which also more the lager, and the malt, why are we not going to Champion Stout? Because most of our women and some men believe in taking black thing that bitter, that kind of thing. Because one of your competitors in the past were trying to, come with other names. But today, they are making wave in their own brand of that stout. Apart from even Nigerian brewery have also gone to stout. The legend thereabout, apart from the Guinness who started it, Golden Guinea. So when are we going to have Champion Stout on as one of product in our area of our product? I want to know, because that will also have a boost into the market since we are in the business of lager producing. So if stout is not there, then we are not started. Because some people need that brown, because malt today is one of the most good brown in the market. The malt, Champion malt. And the Tiger and the cookies. I've tested them. They are good, acceptable in the market. So we have a good product. And that's why the sales have been coming up, I want to also know, if we have been investing in right issue and public offer, when is it going to come up? Because I will be going back and front. When are we now? Have we made up our mind? Have we gotten the SEC approval to hit the market? Because the NGS now have also increasing going to increase their working day. That will also help us. By the time you finish your right and public offer, getting such amount of billion, so the brokers will have a lot. Even those who want to sell without waiting for dividend, they're able to. Because I think I will discuss with the NGS chief executive on that, that methodology working, because you need to give room for market to close, for them to tally what they have sold, in order to make 2+. We are going now instead of 3. So you need to give brokers some time to be able to tally. So 3:30 should be the idea. I'm just suggesting, free of charge, I'm giving you. Or that, I'm just 3:30 should be the idea of closing the market instead of 5 you're talking about. So give room to work out, Even some banks are not closing by 5. Not talk of stockbrokers, because I know where they are coming from. So that's another day. I'm giving you free of charge. Because Champion Brewery, as I said earlier, you have given us 6 kobo last year, ended, and 1 for 10 bonus. So in terms of dividend payout, what is the sustainability going forward? Are we still going to come with kobo dividend or naira dividend now? I want to know the policy on that. Because in the past, it was not forthcoming. But like I said earlier, the whole things have changed. The game changer have changed. We are not going back, not paying dividend. Those era has gone. We are now in new era. Enjoy cause. When we enjoyed our product, entertainment, so dividend must flow so that we can also buy more into the shape, to entertain visitors who came to our houses. So I believe if I address these areas, Champion will make more go higher in terms of capital appreciation and in terms of dividend payout with what you have today. But tell us where this bullet is going to be produced. It's very key, very important, so that we don't have to say we're importing raw material. I don't want that. Thank you. Once again, Boniface.
All right. I hope you guys got the 4 questions, the bullet strategy, the stouts, whether or not you're going into
yes,
stouts.
we wrote all the questions.
You wrote it all down.
Yes.
Well, we're supposed to take them in sets of 3, but if we take those 4 plus the other 3, I think that's like 9 or whatever. But do you want to answer them now?
I think you should answer them now.
Okay, fine. Why don't you answer them now? Let's answer those, and then we'll go to the next.
Okay, I'll give Eric will answer the question because I noticed he was focused so much in getting Eric's response. So Eric, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I know that one of the things I want to say first, I guess you had about 5 different questions wrapped in one, but I'll try to take some of them and pass the rest to my colleagues. With bullets, it's actually in the market already. So there are about 80 million cans of bullets sold in Nigeria today and growing. So it's currently, Nigeria is the biggest market for bullets, but there's still about 14 other countries across Africa where it's drank. You're right, today the entire production of bullets is done in Belgium and is imported and shipped into Nigeria. Going forward though, but let me go back a little bit. I think a lot of the problems some of the manufacturers had previously was that they imported a lot of their raw materials into Nigeria, and that was very high dollar costs for them. So that was a lot of the issues they had. And they also gave loans in dollars to the Nigerian entities, which created issues when they needed to pay back. So in the sector, that was a big issue going in the past. But how we have structured this transaction with bullets, why it's one of the reasons I'm very passionate about it is because we want to actually turn it on its head and make sure that Champion earns a lot of forex, a lot of foreign exchange versus giving a lot of foreign exchange. And how do we do that? So one, we're buying bullets globally. So it's not just about the Nigeria business, but it's about the global business. So anything that is sold in Cameroon, which is a big market for bullets today, anything that is sold in Ghana, that revenue and that profits comes up to Champion also in US dollars in that sense. But first step is first in that we're going to manufacture in Nigeria. So our goal is to manufacture. So bullets is in 2 parts of the bullet brand today. There is the bullets with the pure energy drink bullets, and there's the bullets with vodka, which is Adoga's favorite. And the bullet with vodka. But on the energy drink, we need to start immediately producing that and manufacturing in Nigeria as soon as, after the transaction is done. One of the first things we want to do is move manufacturing. Bullet with vodka, we'll see how to just make sure that we have the right facilities in place to ensure that we produce that as soon as possible in Nigeria. And for the West African markets, what we produce in Nigeria, of course, we would export to the West African markets. But you have to know that bullets is not just about Nigeria or about West Africa. It's also a drink that is sold in North Africa and across the rest of Africa. So in the foreseeable future, we'll still produce in Belgium to ship to those other markets, but would end the forex and the US dollars for those drinks shipped in other markets. So like you saw in the charts, our goal is really to, with the consolidated accounts with bullets, you see how much the revenues of the company grows and the profitability of the company in that we're actually forex based, including the naira we earned from Nigeria. Let me go into the rights issue. Maybe the team can talk more about that, and maybe the start later. But on terms of the rights issue and the public offer, I know we're going through SEC right now and hopefully should receive approvals. I am very, very passionate about this business. Enjoy Corp right now is committed to take up all its rights. Enjoy Corp owns currently about 70% of the business and will be taking up all our rights for it. So it's something we're very bullish about and something we're enthusiastic to move forward with. I don't know if you want to take the start question and the dividends. As a shareholder to Kobo dividends is not what we invested in. We want proper dividends. So as we invest more and as Bullet comes on board, with the earning projections you saw there, we definitely want to pay a lot of dividends going into the future. Thank you. I think the very first conversation we had with the chairman when we came on board is that, Chairman, this company will have to pay as much dividends as Nigerian breweries going into the future. And of course, thanks to the chairman, he approved those dividends, and will continue to hopefully approve big dividends for us going into the future.
Yeah, okay. So thank you, Eric, for taking the bulk of those questions. On the issue of stouts, it's really a very pertinent question you've asked. We are major. We operate in the beverage and the beer sector, and so it's expected that people will like to see stout come out of our stable. As you know, innovation is something you do in phases, right? And then you also prioritize on the basis of how you want to grow your brands and how much attention you need to give to each brand based on your brand development plans. So very much in view. I wouldn't give you much detail so that my competitors will not know when I am going to hit the market with the stout. But I can assure you that innovation, as you saw in our presentation, is one of our cardinal values, and we have plans along those lines. And you will not be disappointed in the near future when we begin to roll them out. Thank you.
Okay, a gentleman in blue, I think he had a question. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll be very brief, so as not to take much of our time. The name is Abayomi Adebayo, shareholder. The presentation of the MD and his colleagues very, very detailed, and we really enjoyed it. One of the things I picked is that it was mentioned that Champion Breweries would like to increase market visibility. It was also mentioned that presently we operate in about 9 to 11 states in Nigeria. So my concern is that since we also intend to grow the number of states where we operate, I want to speak on behalf of Lagosian as a Lagosian that Lagos is seriously yearning for Champion Breweries to come to Lagos. So please, how soon do we intend to bring our operation to Lagos? Because Lagosians too want to enjoy our Champion Breweries brand. This is one of the areas I'd like you to speak on. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's take our last question from the gentleman right to your right there, yeah.
Thank you. My name is Erin Fola Migafao, the youngest shareholder. My own question is, number one, the issue of offer that we are planning, we did not mention the price. Then the right issue also. If you know it, maybe you tell us so that we can prepare. Then secondly, you made mention that you have bought Bullet, that brand, and you are telling us that the proceeds of the offer and the right issue will be used to finance it. So please clarify on that. Then the third question is for NGS. Hello, Sir MD. For NGS, I read somewhere that we are changing our trading timing from maybe 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Can you help us to clarify that? Thank you, sir.
Very much for your question. I think, could you please take that third question so that I can have it documented properly.
The third one.
Okay, trading hours.
It's for NGS. It's 20
Oh,
years.
okay. All
The
right.
timing of the new trading they are proposing.
Okay, very clear. So thank you. David will take the question on when we'll be coming to Lagos, if we'll be coming, or when we'll be coming to Lagos. David, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's like everything else, right? It's building blocks. We currently have a brewery in Akwa Ibom. That brewery needs some significant investment. It's 50 years old. We need to make sure that we can get different packaging options in place. Distribution from Akwa Ibom to Lagos on a returnable bottle basis doesn't make any economic sense. So we're busy putting in a canning facility right now. We've already ordered the facility. It should hit the Akwa Ibom brewery in mid-2026. That will be a 24,000 can per hour opportunity for us, which will also then lead into us being able to manufacture some of the bullet products at our Akwa Ibom factory as well. So the immediate plan for Lagos, sorry, it's not on the cards for now. One, because it doesn't make any sense trying to put more strain on a brewery that's already strained. But number two, because the logistical costs of getting the product there and getting the product back just don't make any sense at all. When we get into one-way packaging, it will hit the shores. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David.
Sorry. Yes. Maybe I could just add to that. I mean, if you look at the Nigerian beer market, the South-South is probably one of the, after Lagos, the strongest market in terms of beer. So we feel that from a strategic perspective, we can capture that South-South first and be the dominant player there and drive out Nigerian breweries. I hope they're not listening. And then, of course, we would it will be very profitable for us. So that's our strategic focus for now.
Very much, Eric and David. You asked a question around if we are going to announce the price so that shareholders can prepare. So, of course, that will happen once we get our SEC approvals, complete. We can announce prior to approvals. Thank you.
And maybe the last
Right,
question.
So you may want to also look towards the side where the trading license holders are, because I haven't heard any question from them as well, and they have been hands so that they also ask questions around what we know that will move the price ultimately. Today is fast behind the figures for Champion Breweries. There's a reason why we have this sort of event. It's really for the company to have engagement with investors such as yourself, analysts, and obviously trading license holders who trade on the stock. And so we'll limit this event to Champions Breweries. We'll deal with the NGS-related issues at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Okay, so any questions on that side, on the trading license holders? Anyone want to ask? Yeah? Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Bosumba Batunde. I trade for Fort Financial. I want to appreciate the Champion Brewery Group for your wonderful presentation. And a lot of things have been captured in the question and answer session. But I want to find out, concerning the bullet agreement signing, when do you intend closing the transaction? Again, I look at the offer size, 42 billion, and the right size, 16 billion. That will lead to increase share capital. How do you intend to manage it? Especially as one of the shareholders leader mentioned, will you be able to service the enlarged share capital with good dividend? Again, I just want to hope, and I want a commitment from the CEO that in the nearest future, as we are hoping that the offer, public offer and the right will be successful, I just want to hope that there won't be any need for share capital reconstruction. Thank you.
Okay, so Eric has just asked that we put up the slide with the bullets figures. So if our tech team there can put that up. I think it was gone over, it was reviewed earlier. Okay, and then we still want to get, I guess, a couple more questions from the trading side. Is there any other questions from there? Okay, so no more questions, but so can we get the slide up? Okay, keep going. Okay, I think, yeah. Still give one more, keep going. Again, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. This is the industry overview. Keep going. Okay. Next one. Next. 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 Is this? No. Next one? Okay. All right. What about here? Okay.
So sorry, to answer the question, yes, we have signed the agreement to buy bullets, but as you know, with regulators, we need to go to the regulators to get approval. That process is ongoing, and as soon as we've actually paid money down, as soon as we get those regulatory approvals, we'll be ready to close the deal. But to a question I was previously asked and going into that question, so we have not yet, until we get those approvals, we can't actually officially own the business, even though we've paid the deposits. So it's not been bought yet, but we're in the process of buying it, subject to approvals. And part of the capital raising, like we said, will actually go towards the acquisition of bullets. With the rights issue and public offer, today we have about 9 billion units of Champion shares outstanding. We intend to add about 2.5 billion units altogether. And with that, it would go to about 12 billion units or so, right, of shares. Now, the reason why our shares are expanding, so it means, of course, we have a bigger share pool. But what the bullet acquisition does for us, if you see this chart, is that it increases our overall revenues times 5. So bullet is not a new business. It's actually earning revenues today. It's earning US dollars. It's earning revenues across the 14 countries. So on a consolidated basis, you see that our revenues tremendously increase by about 5 times what it's doing today. And the profitability of the business also substantially increases, by about 5 or 6 times, 10 times what it's doing today. So why this business will be good? Even though we raise new capital, our share increases, our profits substantially increase because we now get the profits of bullets and we get the revenues of bullets. So it means we have a lot more money to pay dividends for everybody and more capital in. So that's why it's imperative for us that this is actually, like the MD said and the chairman said, it's a game-changing transaction for Champion Breweries, where it transforms Champion from just a smaller player with a business going close to 100 billion once you combine the businesses going into the next year. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that does it for our questions. Thank you so much for being really interactive there. And we want to sign off with our doyen. Please give him a round of applause, Sam Peter, as he signs us off.
Thank you, Rotit. I'm happy for this fast behind the figures. First of all, thank Stock Exchange for providing this platform for Champion Brewery to come and express themselves. And I thank Champion for coming back to their maternal home. I call it maternal home because the pit dog and the sand was brought from it. The mud was thrown back to the pit. the mod said he has reached back to his maternal home. You are listed here by 1993, and you are here today doing your fast behind the figures. You remember we told you the other time that you cannot clap with one hand. You must carry all the people along. And from that time till now, you know what benefit you are getting from it. And I'm happy that you are planning to bring in Bullet. I listened to you. You have mentioned Bullet more than 20 times since you have been talking. And they say when a child is crying and pointing hand to a particular direction, look very well there. If the mother is not there, the father must be there. So you know what you are bringing in, and the earlier the better. And somebody has also told you that you should add start to whatever thing you are doing. And you should try and do as you have been advised, because advice is not a cause. And we in the market here, they say there's nowhere rain will fall without the ground knowing. We are like the ground. So whatever you are doing, we must know. If you like, hide and do it. I appreciate you because they say the goat is sweating, but those looking don't know that the goat is sweating until you go close to the body of the goat, you know that it's sweating. The hair and the goat does not allow you to see this thing. Champion, you are trying. I will tell you that because I know you're trying. Where you are today and where you are when you came the other time is not the same. Rotus told you exactly when you came what your price was and the current price. At least you should appreciate the stockbrokers. Yes, Champion, all the people that are managing Champion, they have the passion, they have the will to grow the company, and they're taking it as a duty to make sure that the company survives. And I'm very, very happy, and you are like the snail. The snail said it's very slow, and people are abusing him that he's slow. No, that somebody that says he's slow should as well carry his house on the back and walk and see how fast and how slow he or she will be. Snail goes around with his house all over the place. You called it the shell of the snail. At least you are also carrying a load, and that will not make you to be very fast in whatever thing you are doing. And we appreciate you for the slowness and the way you are handling your matter without making mistakes. I am very, very grateful, and we also applaud you for that. And Champion is like the blind man that is telling you, if you stone me, I stone you back. He stone me, I stone you back. That blind man, watch him, look at his leg. He has stone already. Because all the things that Champion is saying today, I'm not sure they will make any mistake by the time they come here next time. They are sure of what they are telling us. Champion, am I communicating? Thank you. When you are talking, I was jotting down little things here. Yes. Good product advertise itself. And when somebody is dancing, he or she will not see his or her back. Champion, you are dancing, and who are looking at your dance, and we are saying you are dancing well. Continue with the dance. Well, I think we'll end the evening service because they say there's no long speech in evening service. We'll congratulate you, we'll thank you, and we'll say you should come again. We'll support you in whatever thing you are doing. This is your maternal home. You see the brokers and the press, they didn't pressure you. They didn't ask you much question because they are looking at you as their own. So we will not ask you too much question, but we're expecting too much from you. The shareholders are saying they are like monkey. They say the monkey meat is very sweet when it is dry. What will I be eating to wait for the monkey meat to dry? Here I end my catechism for now. Thank you very much.
He never fails. He never fails. Please, a round of applause for the Doyen. Huh? It's fantastic stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this Facts Behind the Figures from Champions Breweries. I want to ask the management to give a round of applause to the management. Great presentation. Well, Doyen, we actually want everyone to stay in place so you can take pictures, and then we're going to have the next set of executives come up as well. So pictures, please.